Hey everyone, I'm Cole Young, and we are here in Birmingham, Alabama. In this episode, we're going to be following along on the Robert Trent Jones Trail. But before that, we're going to be checking out Professionals Golf Shop in Huntsville, Alabama. Now, Professionals Golf Shop is maybe a little more of a commercial golf store. It's got some new, it's got some used. They got a driving range there as well.
Our motto is try them before you buy them.
Totally.
See what they like the best.
And then we'll check out T's Golf Shop. I know T's a little bit more off the beaten path and maybe a little bit more on brand for us, who knows. I think T's got some ideas about how to make your golf game improve through the advances in technology.
It's a mat that I bought at Rural King. It's a farm supply store.
Okay.
They put them in trailers for cattle. It's something I come up with.
As always, we have $500 in cash to build a pretty cool set of golf clubs. I'm Cole Young, and this is Range Pickers.
Hi, how are you?
Doing? I'm Cole.
Hi, Cindy Parrish.
Nice to meet you. Thank you
Nice
so
to
much
meet
for
you.
having us.
Yeah.
So where are we right now?
Madison Golf
Okay.
Center, Huntsville, Alabama. And we're Professionals Golf Shop,
Amazing. Huntsville, Alabama, which is the Rocket City.
Rocket City.
You have a large variety of new and used golf clubs.
That's right.
For the purpose of the show, we're looking for the used section.
Perfect.
So being in Rocket City, there's a huge emphasis on the space program here.
Yes.
Did a little homework last night. We found out that the only golf club that's been used on the moon was a Wilson Staff Dynapower 6-iron.
Miles and miles and miles. It looked like a slice to me, Al.
And I believe it was a custom one. They made it collapsible so it could fit
so-
in the
yeah,
spaceship.
that's cool.
So I don't know. Maybe we're always out for a
Well,
theme or a motif for these
we
episodes.
do
so-
have single clubs
Okay.
right down here for somebody that's lost an 8-iron or a 7-iron.
Sure.
We may have just what you're looking for down
And your
there.
club repair guy can make it collapsible, right?
Yes. Put hinges on
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So we've got the used iron selection here and on the other side. We started on this side.
Right?
Really nice touch. Not every pro shop does this, but I love that you flip the lowest iron, the pitching wedge typically, upside down in the set so you don't have to go digging through,
So you
what
can kind of
set it
see
is.
what it is.
Yep.
Yep.
And
And,
so
the pricing.
These right here are super cool. These are Titleist DCI 990 irons. The DCI line kind of got made famous by David Duval. Was their answer to like a higher performance kind of improvement club, but also tons of pro backing on
Right.
tour. And this is a 5-3 pitching wedge set, which for $99.
I remember when those came out, I thought it was the prettiest club I had ever seen.
Totally.
It
And they
was
had
so
like so
cool.
many different variations of them too. They had the 962, they had the 970, but DCI was just like a super, super cool era for Titleist golf clubs.
Yep.
And these come with the rifle.
Yeah, they've got great shafts in
Yeah.
them too.
These are 6.0 precision flighted, or not flighted, excuse me. These are the light versions of them. So super, super solid set here for $99. I don't know too much about these right here. These look like they are almost Ping I2 shaped. These are precision made irons. I'm not sure if this is a name brand, but
It's not, and typically we don't trade for a lot of no-name stuff, but every once in a while we have some of those just for somebody looking for a very introductory set.
totally.
But something forgiving.
Yeah.
So that they can, to have a set to take out to the range and not have much money in them.
Exactly.
So,
Well, I mean, this is a great price. 3-3 pitching wedge for $79.99. What drew me to these are these original Golf Pride Victory.
the Green Victory
Yep.
grips.
So these have the cork in them,
Classics.
which is so cool. So these grips, I mean, like the cork ones, they do deteriorate over time as opposed to like, the cord ones. You can
Right.
almost like take fine grit to them like sandpaper and reinvigorate the grips. But
That's right.
these are just like the coolest grips and they're so like indicative of the times. It's like, I think people that if you showed up to the golf course with these, they would know
Right.
this guy knows what
We
he's
also,
doing.
on everything used, will work with somebody. So the prices are not etched in stone.
Okay, good to know.
We're negotiable with that part, and that I think people like that.
Yeah.
Like
They
the
like to
back and
bargain.
forth a little bit. Yeah. So we usually leave a little bit, you know, to be able to help somebody out, especially if they're putting a whole set together. Most of these are newer ones. They're just going to be higher end clubs. Some of them are actually current models.
Yeah.
Some of them are, you know, 1 or 2 years old. Those are actually current Zexio Primes.
Zexio Primes.
Which is a very high end club, but
saw
somebody
a-
can save $500
Totally.
over what the new set is and get the current model.
I-
We do a lot of current. I have a lot of traders.
Yeah.
So
just every year.
we get well, and
one
some
after
every
another
couple
after
of
another.
months.
Yeah. There's so much technology packed into all these heads. So much so that we're reaching kind of the glass ceiling of like the USGA and the RNA like regulations,
Pushing
right?
it. Yeah. You wonder
I'm
how
telling-
much farther they can go.
Well, I'm telling my friends, you know, like, okay, get this set over here, learn to love golf. If you are just like head over heels with it, buy a set like this, and this could last you a lifetime. This set
Yeah.
of golf clubs is going to be good until, I mean, you start to lose power, you start to lose speed.
So you need a shaft change or
Yep.
need more height. We get a lot of the older guys come in, they're like, man, I've lost so much distance. I mean, you know, and they're, so it might be time for graphite
Yep.
or senior flex or something with a lighter gram weight.
Yep.
And
Then
that's
you
when
hit them
we,
with the sales pitch. You're boom, autoflex, full set.
That's right.
I'm gonna swing around here if you don't mind. I want
Yeah.
to take a look at the other side
Absolutely.
of the used iron sets. Because I see some over here that are super cool, but again, probably out of the price range. But you mentioned you had a set over here that you kind of pulled out to. that
Well,
you
there
thought
was
we might
one
like?
there that I thought you might have some interest in. The one VAS, of course, Corey Pavin
Oh, yeah.
made, or the Lynx
The
Parallax.
links. Yeah.
And then this set,
Wow. Very cool. Oh my God. Okay.
now they are definitely old school.
Yeah, seriously. So these are Hogan 770s, which.
Hagen.
Oh, Hagen, excuse me. I was about to say, Hogan would be, yeah. Hogan
Yeah.
would have been, you know, Callaway made, but Hagen was kind of like independently owned and
Yeah.
operated, and these are crazy because there's like basically no ferrule. There's no hosel. It just goes straight into the shaft. It's almost like built like a putter, you know? Where
Right. It is missing the 9-iron and the pitch and wedge, but
Okay.
I thought it was a pretty cool set. I thought it might be something you might have fun
They also
hitting.
happen to be missing grips. But we can
I
fix that
didn't,
here,
well,
right?
I didn't want to put a set on and then somebody wants something different,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
so.
Do you mind if I take one out real quick, just so I can see it from a dress? Because
Sure.
these are pretty cool. Super unique looking. I mean,
They might, they're going to definitely be for that advanced golfer,
Yeah.
not for a beginner, for sure.
it is crazy. So like, I don't even know what kind of neck you would call this on a putter, but it typically happens to be like the ones that have the flow
Like
neck.
the mid slant, you know, the
Yeah.
little slant neck.
But
that
it's
they-
almost like the shaft goes over the head in this situation where, I mean, on standard irons, that's completely the opposite, right?
Right, there's
So-
probably a pin there that goes up in, you know, that the
Yep.
shaft thing comes over.
Yeah, so this would be called the hosel, and then this little plastic thing over here is the ferrule, and the
Right.
shaft fits right into that. And
Right.
I think in modern era, you've only got two diameters. You got 355 and you got 370. You have the choice between, you know,
Parallel or
when you're.
taper.
Yep, exactly. These are just like, I don't even know. If you if you brought this into like a club builder and said, hey, I want to switch the shafts out, they would
I'm
just kind
not
of look
sure
at you.
it could even, that they could even do it anymore. Probably so, but somebody out there that's been in the business a long time would be
Sure,
able to, but
sure.
they're pretty cool.
Okay, so these I've bookmarked these and I've bookmarked the DCIs. I do want to save. I want to make sure we're leaving enough room in the budget. Let's take. I was eyeing some wedges over here. You mind if we take a look at those?
Absolutely. Now all of the wedges are priced just right underneath. These are some of your older wedges.
Yep.
There's an old Wilson Staff,
Oh yeah, there you go.
Robert Mandela
With
with your
With
green
the
victory
victory.
grip.
this is pretty cool, but this caught my eye right here. We are on our way to our moon set right here. These are the Dynapower Wilsons.
Yeah.
So this is the lob wedge. We just got to find the 6-iron, and then we'll have a full moon set. These Wilsons are so cool, really, because the logos that they used to have on these things. You know, we went through like a graphic design rebranding era where everybody that had a golf brand just like switched their logo to just like basically block
Right.
letters, you know, and we fell out of love with cool script logos like that, and
Yep.
even some of the old Wilson putters. You remember they had the little crown cap on the top
Yeah.
of the grip and everything like that?
Yeah.
So cool.
In the leather,
Yeah.
the leather wraps,
So both of these are bore-through shafts.
right?
So the
With
shaft
the
would go.
fluid feel.
Yep.
That's what they called the little red dot back then.
Okay, so that was like kind of vibration dampening.
Yes.
Yeah. This one's a 58. I kind of like this shape a little more. This is a really like very cool.
Right. There's also another one I just saw here. This was a super, that R90.
Oh yeah, the Gene Sarazen.
But it had,
Oh,
you know, a lot
yeah.
of people thought it was wood, but it was just painted metal.
Yeah,
they
that's super
tried
cool.
to make it look like a hickory stick,
Um,
but that's a sand wedge.
we spoke to a gentleman in Pinehurst who's been collecting golf clubs for, I think he said like 60 some years, but he specializes in clubs from like the 1800s, 1900s
Wow.
and stuff. And a lot of the shapes that were being built at that time kind of inspired the rounder shape of the Gene Sarazen R90. You know, tons of offset.
Right.
You know, irons back in the day didn't really have this bounce angle either.
That's
so
right.
like when people were testing them out of the sand, it was like, oh my God, every club needs to have this now.
Yep.
Old school 1 inch long ferrules with the green on it, and yeah, I mean I love the painted steel shaft that just makes it look so old school.
Yep.
And is this a
I think that
real
has
leather
your
grip? Oh wow, that is
cap
super
that
cool.
you were talking about.
I can't tell if this is real leather or not. It is pretty tacky though.
Yeah, I don't know.
How much
it
is this
has
thing?
the cap.
$24.99. I mean, I think we have our sand wedge right here. This is pretty cool. And then how much is this one? $24.99. So for $50 at the professionals golf shop, you could be walking away with 2 amazing vintage wedges. Now, I don't think that these grooves are going to be conforming for today's day and age, but
Might not.
they're still pretty cool looking. Let's just take one more look. I want to make sure that
Okay.
we're not leaving anything on the table over here.
Sure.
Snake Eyes is pretty iconic, and it's because this is probably like a gap wedge, but they called it a 10 iron.
Yeah.
Which is instead of a pitching wedge. It's pretty cool. And just love that Snake Eyes logo.
Yep.
Here,
They
I'll
were
hold
never
that.
really sold in shops. They were mainly online.
Yeah.
Kind of the first company really to sell stuff
Totally.
more online than in, you know, shops like
Yeah.
PXG and
Gosh, I remember even before that, Snake Eyes, I would get the Golfsmith magazine.
Yeah.
And it had like the whole club builder section, so you would see Golfsmith,
Components.
you'd see Maltby, you'd see
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, and the next page was just like really cool Snake Eyes
Yeah.
ads, and yeah, this is a cool wedge for sure. That custom grind on the bounce is pretty crazy. How much is this? $19.99. I mean, so there we go. That's our wedge set right there. We got our pitching wedge, a sand wedge, and a lob wedge. You know what I think? Because you have such a good selection of the single irons, maybe we just build like a crazy Tom Lehman set
Oh,
and just
that'd be
have
cool.
like, you know, TaylorMade 4-iron, Ping 6-iron,
Yeah.
like whatever. Okay, I'm gonna walk around with these. I feel
Okay.
like these could be something here.
yeah.
Let's go take a look at the. Dang, that's a really cool wedge too. Unfortunately, it's lefty.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look at the irons.
Okay.
I feel like we're piecing together something kind of interesting. I would even be interested in doing like a shorter set. You know, some of the people that have gotten into the game of the golf that let's say can't afford
Yeah.
a full set, or maybe have played golf so long they're just sick and tired of the conventional way of playing golf, so they go out and they only play the evens. You know,
Yeah.
they play 4, 6, 8, and a pitching wedge or something like that. And maybe we'll build a little half set. These are funny. These are the Nike slingshot irons.
Yep.
These would
Ultimate
like
game improvement.
these would make a whistle sound when you swung them. They sounded like a Nerf football almost, with flying through the air. Super, super game improvement. We always kind of just gravitate to the Nike clubs because we're so. I mean, that was the era that I was playing college golf in. Nike was just so
I was
ahead
on
of its
Nike
time.
staff for
and-
about 5 years. I
and then it
loved
went
all the
kaput.
Nike stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a decision here on these soon. Are all the drivers over here?
The used drivers are up here.
Okay.
So there's a few old school.
Yeah.
7.5 Warbird.
Whoa.
Great Big Bertha.
That's
You
plenty
don't
of club.
find many
No,
7
you
and a
don't.
halves anymore, but everyone launched that probably like
Yep.
a 9-degree back then.
Yeah, this thing caught my eye right here. This is cool. This has, this looks like it has,
It's that
A-
titanium shaft, I
is
think
it?
is what it is.
I kind of thought it was
Yeah.
a KBS C-taper.
No, it's, they had it and it was a titanium.
Oh my gosh.
They
this
did
thing
it
is-
in their driver.
This thing is so cool. So this is a Callaway Warbird. This is the Strong 4. I mean, it's not anything crazy. We see a lot of these Callaway.
Probably 16 degrees, I think, on the Strong 4.
Yep, yep. And but this is, so for $29.99, you're getting a pretty playable head. You know, 4 wood is just like a great in-between gap kind of club in the top of the bag. But it looks like this has almost been bee blasted on top too. Whoever
I
had
think
this
it
club,
probably had some sky marks on it. And so
Gotcha.
he said, oh, I'm going to get rid of those and polished it, but it actually looks really good.
It looks really good. We have a, so whoever traded this in was a major tinkerer, because we've got this kind of like, I mean, we don't know what it is. There's no stickers on it. We don't know what the flex is, but you mentioned it's a titanium shaft.
Titanium is what I remember it as, and pretty stout.
I'm gonna say, I like that he had the guts to take on his own high or bore through. So we have a golf shop in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And we do repairs, and I mean, we're scared to do bore throughs because it's a long lost art, you know. Some people don't know how to do it. Some people don't.
I've had to even, I kind of stopped taking them,
Yeah.
you know, as far as, because it's so much work and they don't look good. I mean, if somebody doesn't know what they're doing, they come out looking, I just hate for it to go
Yeah.
out like that.
Yeah.
My other club repair guy was really good at it, but he grew up in that
that era.
and
yeah.
he knew how to do them, and they looked as good as Callaway's. But
Yeah.
if they don't know what they're doing, it's a pretty tough repair to make look good.
This thing is pretty cool. I feel like we're getting somewhere with these.
Okay,
Let's go up to the register and see if we can work out a deal.
sure.
I feel really good about what we've picked out so far. We've got the Wilson Staff RM 60-degree lob wedge, and this comes with our favorite Victory cord grip. This one's coming in at $24.99.
Okay,
Kind of matching that, we've got the Gene Sarazen Wilson. This is going to be the R90 wedge, and this is our sand wedge right here. This is also $24.99. So that comes in right around 50 bucks there. This one is just like a unique one. I feel like we haven't bought a 10 iron before. I really like the grind on this thing. This is the Snake Eyes 10 iron. It's 43 degrees. This is going to be our pitching wedge for $19.99. So that puts us at 70.
yep.
And then we found this Callaway Big Bertha Warbird Strong 4, which we decided was around 16 degrees aloft, right?
Right.
This one comes in at $29.99. The reason we loved it so much is because it's just kind of like a at-home garage Frankenstein club. So we've got 50, 70. This is $100 right here.
Okay,
I would love to cash out with these
Okay.
and be on our way.
all right,
So $100.
$100.
Okay, I think I got it for you right here.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank
Need
you
a
so
receipt?
much. No, I think we're all right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Well, we're not bringing these back. These are
Okay.
going in the bag. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for your
much.
time.
Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I appreciate
Come back
you showing
anytime.
around. We will. We're going to come back and hit some balls on the range at some point. So,
Yeah.
Thank you again.
All right, appreciate
Alrighty.
it.
You
Thank
take
you.
care.
All right, y'all take care.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello. Welcome to T's Golf.
Hey, I'm Cole.
Terry. Nice to meet you,
Nice
Cole.
to meet you. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, thank you so very much.
So you are T of
Yeah.
T's Golf.
T is in Terry. I've been here 14 years.
Seems like you have an amazing selection of new and used clubs.
Yes,
and
sir.
You also do club repair? You
Yeah, I do everything. Everything from groove cutting, loft and line, whatever it takes. But yeah, I sell a lot of used, a lot of new.
Sure.
It's just a neat rotation. You know,
Yeah.
my philosophy here is you know, I'm not going to get rich, but I'm not going to go hungry.
There you
Because
go.
if you're honest, you're always going to have a clientele.
Exactly right.
And that's what I did.
So we've got $500
right,
today
cool. All
to
right.
build a pretty cool and unique set of golf clubs.
All right.
We were at Professionals Golf Shop down at the Madison Golf Center earlier this
Okay.
morning. So we are in the market for a driver,
Okay.
an iron set,
Okay.
and then a putter if you got one.
Okay.
We've got $400 to play with, and we'd
Cool.
love to take a look at what you got.
I was looking at one of your shows. It was real interesting. You knew exactly what that was.
Yep,
And
that's in fact the Nick Price model right there. This
Yep.
is the NP99.
Yep.
This one's really cool.
That's a hot one, yep.
Oh yeah. This is another one that got a lot of play on tour, and no one was really getting paid to play
Right.
it. This is the Tour Exotic CB2.
Right.
2 cult classics. You
Absolutely.
know? These clubs right here
Absolutely.
have a crazy following. I feel really, really stoked on these two. Did you have a
Cool.
price for this Sonartech?
Oh my
Not
goodness.
priced.
$10, man.
Okay.
That's free, okay?
Okay. Do you mind if we slip in here and take a look at some of the drivers? I'm kind of gravitating toward this, not necessarily because of the club itself, but it is just in beautiful condition for the age. So this is a TaylorMade titanium.
Yes.
This is the OG bubble burner because it has a bubble shaft in it. Super, super cool technology that obviously, again, went the way of the Buffalo because it's not featured in any of the technology today.
That's
but
right.
I believe the technology or the thought behind this shaft was that by ballooning this part of the shaft right below the grip, they were able to control where the kick point is, right?
That is absolutely correct.
So we have a stiff flex shaft. This is a 90-gram shaft, which is incredibly heavy for a driver in today's day and age.
It is.
But we're looking at 9.5 degrees of loft, and it is in really, really good condition. I kind of like this because, yeah, it's 9.5 degrees of loft,
Right.
but we still have a low profile. We can still tee the ball a little lower.
That's right.
We're still talking about that.
Right.
We're not like wasting surface area on the face to meet the ball.
Absolutely.
But I bet you could also hit this off the deck.
That's exactly where I was coming from. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's sitting up pretty good, why not? Go
Yeah,
for it. Go for the
absolutely.
gold.
You know, of these other drivers, I'm a huge fan of the Titleist 975D. In my mind, that is the original modern driver. I always kind of went that way over the Big Berthas, although we did talk
Right.
about a little bit the Callaway Warbird came in a Ruger metal version of it.
Right.
That was just like a higher quality metal too. It
Yeah.
kind of just screened ball flight at the time.
That's what I used.
Yeah, we've got some really good options here already.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna put the Sonartech back. I
Okay.
mean, like, it is a great deal, but we have a decent amount of these at
Sure.
home, you know?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let's be honest, we gotta save some budget for irons and a putter.
Yeah. I know you're
But
buying.
you
I know
got-
you're buying a putter.
You gotta tell me about these things right here. These are pretty crazy.
Oh gosh, this is a good story. Okay.
Okay.
When I opened up the shop many moons ago,
Yeah.
at the time I was married,
Uh-huh.
and my wife and I opened this up, and I saw these. I said, I gotta get those. She said, only a sicko would want one of those.
Sure.
Just a sicko, a weirdo sicko would want those. I said, okay, whatever, let's get them though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first one I sold, she ran off with the guy.
What the hell? Are you serious?
No, it's a true story.
What a weirdo sicko.
Yeah, what a weirdo sicko. Yeah, that's a true story.
This is so cool.
And they're durable, they're tough.
They almost, I mean,
They almost look scaly. They're pretty.
Yeah.
I sell a lot of them.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I've got the heart to pay for a head cover that costs $5 more than the driver itself, but I might just have to do it.
Yeah, we'll work something out.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
We're gonna work something out, okay?
I'm getting a little worried because I know that the irons are gonna probably be the meat and potatoes of the set. You know, it's
Right.
probably gonna be the most expensive.
Right.
Do you mind showing us some putters before I know
right.
what we're working with
Yes,
the irons?
This is I left head covers on some stuff that's, you know, you don't
Special.
want to get beat
That
up.
head cover
okay?
is pretty cool. Whoa!
Yeah.
Wow,
Seymour.
this thing is almost brand new.
Yeah, Seymour. That's
Is
out
it
of-
brand new? It almost looks like it is.
Well, yeah, pretty much so.
Yeah.
Okay.
We always see the Payne Stewart Seymour, you know, like
Right,
the
the
blade
old-
version.
the
You know, it's
original.
got the little red hidden
Yes.
mark right
Yeah,
here.
so you have the red here. It's sort of. You got
Yeah,
the
we'll
red
turn
there,
that
too.
around for the camera. So,
Yeah.
so when we were in Pinehurst,
Uh-huh.
we bought a Seymour putter.
Cool.
But this right here, the red dot on the blade that we got was hidden right here. But
Right,
this is really cool. It's even
Yes.
like a more crafty place
Yes.
to hide the red, so you don't want to see that when you're adjusting
Yes.
the ball.
Yes.
This is,
It's pristine, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, it literally
to
looks like
find.
it's never ever been used.
It's hard to find.
And this is coming in at $100. It comes with the Super Stroke grip, which is a super nice addition. And it comes with a super cool head cover.
Yes.
Okay, we might be rolling that one.
Okay.
This Odyssey is kind of calling my name, honestly.
Cool.
So this is an Odyssey Rossi dual force insert. I mean, this is what high MOI used to be. This
That's
is
right,
a forgiving putter
exactly.
club.
Exactly.
But it does have, I mean, this is probably, I don't know, a little longer than a driver. I'd say like 44 inches long. But we did another trip down to,
That fits you good.
Yeah,
the lie
that-
angle's real good for you.
yeah. We have not built a set with a broomstick yet. This thing is pretty cool. And you know what? So Tacky Mac makes a rubber grip, not like, I think every broomstick putter that I've ever had has
Right.
had a grip that just falls apart because it's a pain jamming it into the bag and all that kind of stuff. But this one is actually a durable one. So
Right.
that makes it that much more useful.
Right. You make me smile because I've been doing this so many years. You know, Tacky
Like a-
Mac's an awesome grip.
I love Tacky Mac.
You were talking about if I had any patents, okay? So I'm going to tell you the story.
All right.
So, late 90s, I ran into a guy and I told him how in my shop I accidentally found a way to clean grips.
Is that right?
You know, I pulled out some Windex and I happened to hit a tour wrap grip. And I just, ugh, and I went, ugh. I thought, what? What? Windex.
Really?
Yes. And then I was talking to him at Tacky Mac.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, that's a great grip. She says, do you know how to clean those? I says, I got an idea. She says, there's a guy from Bleep Bleep that came up with the idea of cleaning them with Windex, and he sold that. It's the same guy. He sold that technology, that information.
No way.
Windex will clean a rubber grip.
We need to get you a manager or like a patent guy just to get,
I've
get
got-
your ideas out.
well-
You have Windex here? We might have to test it on some of these.
Oh, absolutely,
Okay.
man. Let's do
Okay.
it.
All right.
Okay, let's do your putter here.
Okay.
You know. Ew.
I mean, that's been on the rack for how
yeah,
long?
Yeah, a long time.
Just takes one idiot like me to come along and buy it.
No. It's just a good fit for you.
Yeah,
I liked it. When you grabbed it, it was natural. That's
totally.
the
I'm
cool
a
thing.
firm believer that the club finds you, too.
It does. I mean, you picked this thing up and it was you. All right.
All right.
All right. It might be a little damp.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That feels brand new. We're dialed. We don't need to look for putters any longer. This
Okay.
is my, new face balanced broomstick that
Right.
is actually the perfect length for me.
Okay.
The only thing we got to do is get some irons.
All right. Oh, I got a good idea for you. All right. What this is some that I made for myself.
Okay.
It's a personal set, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make another set. Old age, I'm gonna make a graphite set.
Okay.
Okay? So these are now for sale, okay? Let me show you what we've got here. Let me just grab one.
This is your personal set.
Personal set.
Okay.
I can tell you that the neutral bend point is facing 9 o'clock.
Okay.
I can tell you the swing weight is 1.5.
Okay.
Actually, I make mine just a little bit longer than standard, even though I don't need to, just to create a little more club head
As long,
speed.
with the longer arms, you would
Yes.
think have to be shorter.
That is that smart young man. Absolutely correct. That is correct. The lie angle, believe it or not, is standard, okay? The lofts are set at 4 degrees.
So these are Wish-On 575
Yes.
MMCs, which I'm assuming means muscle cavity.
You got it. Yes.
Really, really cool cavity design here. So we've taken
All
some
fours.
weight out from behind the hitting area.
Yes.
And pushed the weight out to the perimeter, which
Right.
makes these pretty forgiving, even though they are definitely blades from a dress.
Right.
You got a pretty good looking top line, very minimal offset.
Right.
This is a really, really good,
Beautiful.
solid looking head. And so you've got, what kind of shafts in these?
FST Pro. They don't even
Oh,
make
wow.
it anymore. Are you familiar with
I am,
FST Pro?
yeah. And this is what, a pitching wedge through 4-iron
4
set?
through pitch. Yep.
Okay.
New, I sell these for 110 per iron. Okay. And I'm giving you the good deal. I'll sell you these for $350.
350?
350, brother.
Dang. Okay.
All right.
I mean, I'm really interested. Do you mind if we go hit something?
I want you to hit them.
Okay.
You take anything you want. You
All
go
right.
hit.
We'll take the 7-iron out
Okay.
with this. I feel like that's the general demo.
Yeah, it's a good middle.
iron. We'll take the 7. And then we got to go do some math because we might be losing a club over here.
All right.
Just to
Whatever
keep it in
way you
budget,
wanna go.
Because I am not walking out of there without that head cover.
All right. You got to have the snake and the story that goes with it.
A common thing to check for in clubs when you're buying them, the lie angle is when the club is laying flat, the lie angle is like the angle of the shaft, right? So it has a lot to do with how low your knuckles hang. It's about, how close you are to the ball. The lie angle can change a lot about the golf shot, right? So if the toe is really far down, which way is the loft going? That way. So if you hit a flat club, the ball is supposed to go right. If the club is really upright, the loft's going that way, it's gonna make you hit a draw. Lie angle is pretty important, but it's like pretty often overlooked. One thing to do before you hit irons is hit golf balls off of a lie board. The lie board makes a little mark on the bottom of your club, and it'll tell you exactly where you're bottoming out, so you basically know to bend it upright or flat. But we just agreed that a lie board doesn't really do anything for you
Right.
because a lie board is actually that far off the ground.
Right. So you're that far off. It's going to hit too soon.
It's giving you a false reading.
Yes.
And what are we standing on right now?
It's a mat that I bought at Rural King. It's a farm supply store.
Okay.
They put them in trailers for cattle. It's something I come up with.
But it scuffs up the bottom of the
It should
club.
put a black mark. If it don't, we'll put a piece of tape on it and
Okay.
it'll do the same thing, okay?
But
Let's
so
see.
this is technically a DIY lie board.
Absolutely. It's
That
perfect. And it's so durable. The thing is, it will actually make you a better golfer hitting off this than a fluffy mat. You learn to hit this,
well, I think, yeah.
logically it'll make you a better ball striker. It's a win-win.
Did you ever think maybe you might be a sweeper of the ball because you can't take a divot out of this?
I have that was funny you would say that. I would say I have a shallow angle of attack.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to shallow this one
All
out.
right. There, you smoked it. Okay,
so
Did
we hit
stuff?
that a little bit on the toe, which
Yep.
means that these clubs might be a little flat for me, huh?
Yeah, right there it is.
Yep. Let's try one more.
Yep.
Who knew the pioneers of golf innovation were located in
Hazel
Green,
Green,
Alabama.
Alabama. Good hit. Feels good,
It
doesn't it?
sure does.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Okay. So,
Yeah, you just a touch on the toe. Yeah.
but you know what? We could probably the
up.
second that I'm in my golf shoes, a little elevated off the ground, makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
cool.
this is the Wish On 575 MMC. I got to give it to you.
Forge, baby. They're soft, aren't they?
I did not come in here today thinking that we're going to be walking away with some Wish On golf clubs, but these feel really solid. I would love to. I would love to take these to the register. Let's put everything out,
All right,
and we're
cool.
just going to figure out where we stand
Awesome.
cash-wise, and then we'll go from there. We're looking at a putter, a fairway wood, a driver, and a set of irons right now. We have $400 to spend left in
Okay.
the tank.
All right.
This is going to be a 4-iron through pitching wedge set.
Correct.
And this is hand-built, custom-built by
Perfect.
the Terry.
By D. Terry, guaranteed.
This is coming in right at 350.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm saying yes to them because we're cutting it close on the budget.
Right.
As cool of a club as this is, $30 for a fairway wood, and I already forgot that we got the
You got the
4 wood from
four-wood.
the other one.
Right.
And to be honest, this thing is so hot. that it might not fit the gap of the bag. I'm worried that this
Gotcha.
is going to go as far as the driver that we're about to buy,
That makes sense.
to be honest with you. So
sense.
I think because we have
Makes
the
sense.
softer lofted
smart.
forewood,
That's
we're
smart.
going to bail on this guy right here.
That is
So I'm going to
smart.
put this over here.
All right, cool.
So we were still at 350. I got to be honest with you, I was not going to buy this putter. But
Right.
the second you put Windex on it, I knew I had just mess with you. This is the Odyssey Dual Force Rossi 1.
Right.
It's really cool because, I mean, everyone's raving about broomsticks these days.
Sure.
We got to give this a rip. This
Right.
is $60, which unfortunately is going to put us a little over budget. But I need to kind of think about where we're at right now because under this
Under
head
the
cover right
Viper.
here, under the Viper is a very sentimental club to me, especially because it was one of the first drivers that I ever owned.
Oh, cool.
Tailor-made bubble burner. My grandpa cut it down so low for me. It was like when I was a kid that I was
Right.
completely missing the bubble part
Yeah,
of the
the
shaft.
bubble was gone.
The bubble was gone, but he was managed to fit the grip over the thicker part of the shaft, and this is coming in at $20. So if we've got $400,
Yes.
and we're taking away the $350,
Right.
that leaves us with $50.
Yep.
Would you be able to squeeze the driver with the head cover and the Odyssey putter in for $50 to make it a clean $400?
For a very effective, logical young man that understands what things are about in the golf business, absolutely, yes, sir.
All righty. Thank you so much for having us.
You know what you're doing.
Appreciate
Yep.
you. I've got your cash for you right here.
Oh, I like cash.
We love cash. This is 1, 2, 3, 400.
Of my
Ben
best
Franklin's
friends.
best friend.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you again for having
Oh,
us.
it was
You have
awesome.
a lovely shop.
It's so nice to meet people that are young and still understand what
Absolutely.
good quality is. It
We
doesn't
hope
have to
that-
be new and flashy.
No, we hope through this
Smart.
show we
Very
inspire
smart.
people to, I think, another saying we have, sorry to hit you with the corny sayings, but you have to look into the past
Right.
before you play into the future.
I agree 100%.
There you go. Thank you again for having us.
Oh, beautiful.
All righty. You take care.
All right.
We are here in Birmingham, Alabama. We just got done doing our golf club shopping up in Huntsville. We are at the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. We are here with local legend and bagpipeman, Trent. How you doing?
Doing great today.
Thank you so much for having us
Thanks
here.
for having me.
Those were beautiful bagpipes earlier. We really appreciate you showing us around the property and everything like that.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
We've got to know, how long have you been doing that?
So I've been piping for about 30 years. My grandfather told me we were Scottish, and I discovered the bagpipes and started playing. And I've been playing here at the hotel for about 6 years now.
Very nice. And it's just you that plays, or are there other?
No, we have
pipemen?
other pipers that play behind me.
Gotcha.
And so the tradition started back when the hotel opened in 2008.
Very nice.
The hotel's built on a Scottish theme. So the local pipe major, Jim McRae, got with the hotel, and they decided to have the pipers out every night at sunset. Every night for the last, 25 years.
Holy
Or
cow.
something like that.
What is your favorite thing about playing bagpipes?
Bagpipes.
Bagpipes.
I was gonna say that view right there.
Yeah.
But I love the volume,
Yeah?
the loudness of it. Everything just reverberates
Totally.
your whole body.
So we're just really happy to be here in Birmingham. Not that it concerns you, because I just nerded out on golf clubs for the whole day, but we're really excited to be here. We're gonna go check out Oxmoor Valley tomorrow, test out the golf clubs, see how we do. But this is my first time on the Robert Trent Jones Trail, so stoked to be on this. This is like my first view of the RTJ Trail. So
It's beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having us again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
We're here in Birmingham, Alabama. Final stretch at the Ridge Course at Oxmoor Valley. We got 16, 17, and 18. 16's a pretty tough par 3. 17 looks like a little dogleg right, par 4. And then 18 is just a beast of a par 5. We used every bit of the $500, and now we're here. I'm not entirely sure that our driver has enough horsepower for these holes, but we're gonna try our best. 16th hole, par 3, about 175 yards on the plate. It's a little cold. We're a little cold. We've also really never hit these irons before. These are the Wishon 575 MMC forged, let's call them player improvement irons. They're not like a true blade. They do have a really cool looking profile. There's like very minimal offset. The top line is pretty thin. Verdict's still out on if these are solid clubs, so we're gonna give this a try. We don't know what shafts are in them. We just know that there's pure grips on them. Terry did something crazy to them. We're just, everything's in the hands of Terry. That was flush. Wow. These are pretty butter. That was a 6 iron. We hit that 159 in the air, 167 total. The plate right here says 175 to the middle. I guess the pin's a little up because we pretty much flagged that. We've got maybe 15, 20 feet for birdie. That was really nice. I don't really want to hit another one. We have a first on range pickers right now. We've got an Odyssey Dual Force Rossi 1 in the broomstick variant. This thing is probably around 44 inches in length, so longer than a 3-wood, shorter than a driver. The broomstick is having just like a moment on the tour, you know, being played by the likes of Adam Scott, Willie Z, Akshay Bhatia, and I think that the verdict is still out on like, is it cool? Is it not cool? Is it cheating? We've got about, I don't know, 15, 20 feet for birdie. This is gonna be a right to left breaker. And an important thing to note about the broomstick is that you're gonna look really dumb with it if you don't take notes from the people already playing it. So, you know, first instinct, you're like, how do you even grip this? Luckily, Terry over at T's Golf shined this thing up with some Windex, so we're not gonna have any problems gripping it. I think the general rule is just like kind of covering the top grip over here, and then you have the choice of going like that, or holding like a pencil, or going claw, or whatever. Whatever helps you kind of like rock the shoulders a little more naturally. And we are going to send this little ball home here on the 16th green. Great leave. We blasted it 4 feet by. This is a lot heavier than your average putter. So the point of that being, you don't have to take it back so far. When you take it back really far, it kind of encourages deacceleration, more time for the putter to leave the path. Now I have a hard par putt coming back. But we learned something. We don't have to take the putter back as far as we just did. Phew! 17th hole, we have 396 to the middle of the green here. Cool little dogleg right. We've got a cross bunker that we've got to avoid. Gonna try to take this over at the 150 mark. We're gonna be hitting our TaylorMade burner driver, but first we gotta talk about this head cover. Terry was nice enough to hook us up with this thing. Pretty crazy. It's got, you know, I'm assuming some faux python situation going on. It's kind of a heartbreak story. We'll see if it's good luck or bad luck. Under the hood, we've got TaylorMade titanium bubble burner, 9.5 degree, super cool, shallower face. We talked about it a little bit with Cindy about, you know, how mini drivers have entered, you know, the zeitgeist, if you will, of golf clubs, just becoming way more popular out on tour and offering a really good option for players that have trouble hitting the ball in the air. This is kind of the older precursor to that. A lot of the mini drivers will have more loft than 9.5 degrees, but this is basically the shape that they were going for. Also, iconic bubble shaft. Kind of has a little taper right here and then kind of balloons in through this midsection here. I believe the technology behind that was to really control where the kick point is. Kick point basically means that like on the downswing, you know, you have this like really flexy part of the shaft right here. Kick point is just making sure that the bend is kind of doing this little whip motion right when you get to the ball to help increase club head speed. So we're gonna give this a rip and see how it goes. It's kind of the target that we were going at right there. Well, I was kind of beat on. Look at that. Patented tracer technology, you can see that we hit the tree that we were actually aiming at, which is funny because pretty often aiming at stuff I don't want to hit it at because I never hit it where I aim. That was 232 in the air, 252 on the ground. We had about 2,649 RPMs of spin on that, which is fine, but we need to launch that a little higher. That only came out with 10.5 degrees of launch. That would be absolutely hammered if that was 14, 13 degrees of launch. So we just need to hit up on it a little bit more. I look to be past the 150 marker. So hopefully a little flip wedge in there from the Wichons. Definitely way higher. Go ball. I mean, so it kind of fell out of the sky. This is obviously not what normal club faces look like these days. There's no grooves on modern drivers. This one has grooves. Probably has to do with the technology of the golf ball at the time because they want to keep spin up. That was 238 in the air, 245 on the ground, so obviously shorter. We got that launch all the way up to 16 degrees, but with that increase in loft, unfortunately we increased spin. That's 3,100 RPMs of spin. It's a little too much to optimize ball flight. So still two pretty good shots, 2 shots in the fairway. That's all you can ask for. And let's go hit the green. So we're now here in the 17th fairway. We've snuck into the fairway. We used kind of this, this berm to catch a piece of it. We are 148 out from the pin. Got a bit of an incline, uphill. We could play a little left to right shot to access that right pin. Still, again, a little chilly out, so don't think the ball is flying as far. We're gonna chip a little 8-iron up there. Get a little Wichon wish off action. That was really good. Did exactly what we wanted to do. That was 140 in the air, 145 on the ground, 7,000 RPMs of spin. What more can I say? The Wichons are kind of kind of good. A lot of these irons made by brands, whether it be Callaway, TaylorMade, Ping, whatever, there's only so many like manufacturers, like club manufacturers in the world. Sometimes those manufacturers have certain fonts or stamps or what have you. I said yesterday to Terry that these clubs like remind me of some old Cobra irons. I believe like just early 2000s forged King Cobra CBs and MBs, mostly because it's a similar color scheme. But that forged graphic right there and this 8-iron graphic right there looks almost like the same font or same graphics as the old Cobras. Kind of gives me the idea that these were made in the same factory as Cobra. This is all speculation, but it's just like kind of a cool thing to pick up on. A lot of these tour prototype irons that you've seen, like, I don't know, maybe on blogs talking about TaylorMade clubs being forged by Mura, you know, you can kind of tell just by the font of the number or different distinct like graphics. So just a cool thing to look at when you're shopping for irons. This is my first time being here at the Robert Trent Jones Trail. Both courses that we've seen so far have been just absolutely gorgeous. Not that like I'm a topo expert or anything like that, but I just kind of assumed that Alabama was flat. I don't know why I did, but we were told yesterday that there's sites built on quarries and some of the lakes are like 200 feet deep, and there's just like so much elevation to these holes. Along the RTJ Trail,
There's 11 sites. I believe there's 26 courses. A handful of them are championship courses. I also heard there's another one that's like an 18-hole par 3. Just seems like if you're like looking for a golf tourism destination, it would be pretty good bang for your buck if you just started from the top and worked your way down. Obviously that's a really long trip, but if you worked it out in a way to do a couple sites here and there and then tried it on another trip to do a couple more on your list, it'd be a pretty solid trip. We're really enjoying ourselves. Ooh! Let's go make another 3-putt. We are just off the green on the 17th hole here. Because I feel like we're just not gonna miss a green today, we are going to throw a ball on the ground here and try out our Snake Eyes 10 iron. This is a little redundant in the set makeup, but we like that it had Snake Eyes on it and in that it said 10. Snake Eyes is a super cool brand that is no longer around, but we're gonna give this a try. Get on your horse. Oh yeah. Love that. Good action. Super good look at birdie here. We should probably make this, considering we've made idiots of ourselves on the last green with this broomstick. Having a hard time reading this just because we are looking at the macro read. The whole shape of this kind of hill is like this, but the green is kind of going this way. So I think we are gonna play this dead straight, hit it with a little spunk, and get out of here with a birdie. We are here at the home stretch, 18th hole ridge course at Oxmoor Valley. Pretty beefy par 5. We still haven't hit our 4-wood yet, so hoping to give us an opportunity to do that on this tee shot. So let's set one out there. Oh my God, that is dumped on. That is a high toe ball. That is in the air for so long. No spin on that, high launch. That was 242 in the air, 260 on the ground, 13.5 degrees of launch, and 2,700 RPMs of spin. That is about as optimal as it's gonna get with this driver, I think. Home stretch, we've got about 280 into the hole. I don't know if this has enough horsepower to get home, but we're gonna give it a crack. This is the Callaway Big Bertha Warbird. This is a strong 4-wood. I think Cindy said this is probably around 16 degrees aloft. Kind of no name, no branding on the shaft. This is all titanium, according to her. Titanium is not a material that's typically used in golf shafts, so I'm interested in hearing or feeling what it performs like. Wow, that was hit really hard. That felt so good. That kind of did exactly what we thought it was going to do. 210 in the air, 225 carry. The feeling of the shaft compared to our driver shaft, which is graphite, this is titanium. There is a lot of just like club head loss in the top of the swing just because the shaft is so heavy and the club head is so light. So you kind of don't know where the club is in the middle of your swing until you have impact, and it still is giving you that really muted feel. The ball kind of just like melted off the face on that one. It felt like it launched great. It felt like I hit it square on the nuts. 210 is about what we wanted to get out of a 16-degree, vintage 4-wood. I'll hit one more just because I really like the feel of this thing, so we'll see. That was a little more down and left pathwise for swing, which controlled the ball. We were able to increase spin on that, bring launch a little bit down. That was 208 in the air and 223 carry. But upon landing, it has so much more spin on it that it kind of just stays put as opposed to like bounding way left. So I love this club. This thing is really sick. We are now within reach of the approach shot for the 18th hole here at the Ridge course at Oxmoor Valley. We've got 2 wedges to test out from 75 yards. We're taking into account a little bit of an uphill and then a pin that is, you know, kind of hiding behind this bunker. These wedges here are both from Wilson. We chose these because we bought them in Huntsville, which is the Rocket City. The only club to be hit on the moon is actually a Wilson staff. So that's kind of why we picked these out. The first one is going to be the 60 degree. This is a Wilson staff RM. It's a 60 degree wedge, which is pretty good for the shot that we have right here. If you wanted to take it in a little high, have it spin, kind of knock one tight there. The other option is going to be this Gene Sarazen Wilson. This is an R90, which is labeled a sand iron. I'm assuming that's going to be a 56 degree. So this gives us the option to do, you know, hit one a little lower, bring it in, kind of roll it up. 2 great options for this shot right here. Let's start with the 60 degree. That felt great. Great, like little just medium range shot with the 60. As you know, these are such specialty clubs, you know, you don't really have to muscle them all that much. Super good for just delicate shots like the one we just had to hit. Let's try the 56 this time, but this should come out a little lower. And that, folks, is very, very high golf IQ right there. Left ourselves an uphill putt, and both of these are just super solid. This one was 25 bucks. This one was 25 bucks as well. Can't beat it. So we slightly misjudged how firm the greens are. Those wedge shots that we just hit, I'm about to putt the one that we hit with the 60, and then we'll go over to here to where we hit the 56, but we hit our numbers exactly where we wanted to. I just don't think that those grooves are amazingly fresh, you know, they're pretty old. It's tough to like really predict how the ball is going to spin when the grooves are just so worn, so old. You also have to remember that those clubs were meant for hitting a much softer ball, so not ideal for those kinds of controlled shots. But we have a look at birdie. We have our handy dandy broomstick, and we are going to be extra cautious of how hard we're hitting this. Wow, that tail is pretty good to the right at the end. Not bad. I'm going to take that for par. So we've moved on over to ball B now. This was hit with the Gene Sarazen 56 degree. That's a R90 wedge from Wilson. We learned a little thing from ball A. This is going to be an uphill putt for us. Should not break all that much, but that last little bit of ball A going way right tells us that this is a little more uphill than we thought. So one more look at birdie, one last shot of glory. Oh, rat bastard. Both under red. Our camera crew is not giving this to me. That is rude. But we didn't need it. That's 2 good pars. We used just about every club in the bag. So we'll start from the bottom up. The putter, we got this Odyssey Dual Force Rossi 1. This was a broomstick that we got for 60 bucks. It's a pretty good size for me. It's not too tall, it's not too short. I'm gonna give this, honestly, a B+. I'm partial to the head. I like that it has all the score lines on top for easy alignment. I just think I gotta get used to it a little bit. We played on some faster greens today, and this was just a lot heavier than the other putters that we've got recently. To the wedges, we walked out of Professionals Golf Shop with these 3 wedges right here. Starting with the 60, this is a Wilson staff. The 56 was an R90, Gene Sarazen original. And then we ended up getting a 10 iron, which we learned today that it might actually be a little weaker than we had originally thought. I'm giving all 3 of these an A-. I'm partial to the snake eyes just because I think it's a little quirky. It's 10 iron, should be saying pitching wedge. It's also got snake eyes on it, I like that. And these just performed really well. Yeah, we kind of overhit the 3rd shots on the 18th hole, but you know, we'll learn that next time to control our spin. These irons, probably the winner of the day. I cannot believe I'm saying this. Really not trying to blow smoke up Terry's booty, but these are incredible. These are the Wishon 575 MMCs, super, super melty off the face. We love the perimeter weighting on these. We feel like all the mass that was removed from behind the ball gives us a really consistent strike. Dude, they just were incredible. The gap between our driver and our 4-iron, we got this guy right here. This is this Callaway Big Bertha Warbird. This is a strong 4-wood. We think it's around 16 degrees. And it comes with this really cool titanium shaft. The titanium shaft gave it such a crazy feel. Definitely a more muted, kind of dead in the hands feel. But that's not to say that this isn't a ball speed monster. We hit our numbers with this right on the head. This is a really good position, kind of like strategic fairway wood. A lot of the modern day fairway woods are super, super low spin, kind of defeat the purpose of like hitting gaps in your bag just because they go so far. They're almost basically like mini drivers. So moving on up to the driver, we have this snake head cover that we got from T's Golf Shop. It needs a name, so hop in the comments and give this thing a name. I would love to keep this on the bag, and who knows, there's already a decent amount of lore around the head covers. Maybe we can add to the lore later. But under it, we've got this tailor-made titanium bubble burner, 9.5 degree driver, super small, super compact head for today's standards, but back in the day, this thing was ginormous, tons of forgiveness in it. This, of course, has the bubble burner shaft in it. You know, I know on paper, we weren't hitting it all that great, but on the 18th hole, we pumped one. I think we ended up hitting that about 285 on the ground, and, you know, kept up with, you know, some of the modern day drivers. So all in all, I'm giving this all a super high rating. I'm giving this, I'm going back to this fairway wood, I'm giving this an A. I'm giving the irons an A. The driver, I feel like the bubble burner shaft, yeah, the technology was kind of before its time, but now it's a pretty inconsistent kick point. We hit some squirrely ones out there, so I give that a B-. That's our show. Thank you so much for coming along. Special thanks to Professionals Golf Shop, as well as T's Golf Shop, both our friends down in Huntsville, Alabama. Also, special shout outs to Renaissance, Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. And of course, we have the Oxmoor Valley Golf Club to thank. Super, super hyped on the clubs that we got. Super stoked on the courses that we got to test these out on. Also got to hang out with our friend Trent, who plays bagpipes. I've always wanted to be up and close next to a bagpipe player. So thank you so much for following along, and we'll see you in the next one.